Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава нації!
Смерть ворогам!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Героям України тричі!
Слава! Слава! Слава!
Good afternoon, my friends, and thank you very much for coming here today. I remind you all that we welcome any passerbys to join our rally and to tell the world what really is going on in Ukraine. Sorry for that little gap. But before we go any further, let's start this rally as we always do, with the Ukrainian anthem. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава нації!
Смерть москалям!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Героям України тричі!
Слава! Слава! Слава!
Ворогам України тричі!
Смерть! Смерть! Смерть!
Not so long ago, there were a lot of memes coming out and circling around the internet about António Guterres shaking hands with Lavrov. It's truly an unsightly picture to see, an unsightly video overall. We can all see it for ourselves. That is what happens when appeasers take hold. That is what happens when people don't understand what they're truly dealing with. To shake hands with a murderer, with somebody who might slit your throat in your sleep tomorrow, is not a sign of friendship, it's not a sign of civilization. It's a sign of stupidity. The Russians are laughing because in Europe, this is seen as sort of a good manners gesture. Oh, but we want to solve the situation peacefully. My friends, Russia refuses to solve the situation peacefully. And this situation will not be solved peacefully for as long as Russia keeps refusing that peaceful solution, refusing to remove their troops from Ukraine and uphold the treaties that they have violated in the past. That is what's separating us from peace, my friends. The desire of the Russian terrorist state to continue fighting, the desire of the Russian terrorist state to still go forward and expect to remain unpunished for all of their numerous crimes against the Ukrainian people and many other people all over the world. Because, my friends, as we have said so before and we say it again, Ukraine is only the beginning, or rather, it had begun even before Ukraine. But this escalation will only continue until Russia is stopped at last. We can't keep going on with these appeasers, with these apologists who are trying to negotiate with Russia, when Russia keeps betraying the word they make immediately after they make it. Let's make a little list about the most important treaties that Russia has violated. The Budapest Memorandum, where Ukraine gave up the third biggest nuclear arsenal in the world back then. The Russian-Ukraine Friendship Treaty, where Russia once again acknowledged Ukrainian borders and Ukrainian sovereignty. Then, the war in 2014 began. Same exact situation as happened in Georgia in 2008. The world did not learn. The world did not care. Now, we have the situation that we have. And even before this major escalation by the Russian terrorist regime, they had already betrayed both the Minsk agreements, where the Ukrainians were willing to compromise, were willing to give up some parts of their territories in exchange of peace. We were willing to do as such. Russia, not so much. They were not compromising anything. And they were not even happy with the compromise that the Ukrainians gave, because they betrayed that treaty immediately after it was made. Both of them, in fact. Both of the Minsk agreements were betrayed by Russia. One of them in particular was very interesting, because the Russians had a small advantage in the Battle of Debaltseve. So they continued to press their advantage, instead of actually upholding the treaty that had been signed just days before that. That is what we're dealing with, my friends. That is the kind of creature that Guterres decided to shake hands with. But of course, the apologists will say that it's just a handshake, that it's just a goodwill gesture. But not like the Russian goodwill gestures. No, the Russian goodwill gestures only happen when they are beaten on the battlefield. And afterwards, after they are powerless to continue to try to strive for victory, they claim that their defeat was no defeat at all. Their defeat was a mere goodwill gesture. That is what they truly wanted to do ever since the beginning. This is what they claimed when they failed at Kiev. This is what they claimed when they failed at Kharkiv and at Kherson. And they will continue to claim as such. Even after this war is lost by the Russians, they will continue to claim that actually somehow it was all according to plan ever since the beginning. But my friends, we have to be wiser than that. We have to be wiser than individuals who would believe in snake oil salesmen like Putin or Lavrov. We need to understand what truly is going on right now. That Ukraine is fighting for its life, whilst Russia is fighting for the wealth, for the pockets of their leaders, of their corrupt heads. As the saying goes, the fish rots from the head. And in Russia, we can smell the rotten head from here, honestly, my friends. So let's not forget about that. Prigozhin forgot about it, and he could not forget about it any other time after the first time. But my friends, the main point we are here to give for everybody who's passing by, for everybody who might watch this from their home, or from wherever you are, the main point is this. Russia has started this war. Russia has escalated this war. And the only way to stop this war is to stop Russia. Stop Russia, stop the war.
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 Seize Russian assets.
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 More sanctions on Russia.
More sanctions on Russia.